Commander Taiwan Park stood at the wide window of the Korean Defensive Space Station. His eyes were fixed on the empty black of space. The stars twinkled as they always did. Everything seemed normal. Then it happened. The space in front of him twisted. It bent like someone was folding the darkness itself. A bright flash lit up the bridge, making Taiwan shield his eyes. When he looked again, they were there. "Sir, 5 large ships have entered our space," shouted Officer Sunho from his post. They came out of nowhere. Taiwan's heart beat faster, but his face stayed calm. "Show me on the main screen." The big screen lit up with the image of the alien ships. They were huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. Each one looked like it was made of thick plates and ridges. They reminded Taiwan of pictures he had seen of ancient armored animals from Earth's past. "They're organic-looking," said Hansol, the science officer. Her eyes were wide, almost like giant space rhinoceroses. Taiwan picked up the station's comm unit. "This is Commander Park of Earth Defense Station Korea 1. Unknown vessels, please identify yourselves." For a long moment, there was only silence. The bridge crew held their breath. Then a deep, rumbling voice answered. The sound made the speakers vibrate. "We are the Craxus. Your planet has resources we need. You will surrender them to us." Taiwan's fingers tightened around the comm unit. "This is Earth space. We are willing to discuss trade, but we do not surrender our resources to anyone." A harsh sound came through the speakers, something like laughter, but without joy. "Trade. We do not trade with lesser species. You have 72 of your Earth hours to prepare your surrender. Any resistance will be met with force." The comm went silent. "Sir, they're moving," called Sunho. "The ships are spreading out around Earth. They're forming a blockade." Taiwan watched as the massive ships took positions around the planet. His training had prepared him for first contact, but not like this. Not with threats. "Try to call Earth Command," he ordered. Hansol worked at her station, her fingers moving quickly over the controls. "I can't get through. They're blocking all our signals. Nothing can get in or out." "What about the moon base? The Mars colony?" "Nothing, sir. All communications are being blocked. The skies have gone silent." Taiwan looked back at the alien ships. They hung in space like giant predators waiting to strike. Their surfaces caught the sunlight, showing more details of their strange design. They really did look like the armored skin of Earth's rhinoceroses, thick plates joined together, with what looked like horns extending from their fronts. "Record everything," Taiwan said, "and prepare the escape pod. Someone needs to get back to Earth with what we know." Young Officer Min Su stepped forward. "Sir, I volunteer to go." Taiwan nodded. "Take all our scan data. The pod is small. It might slip past their blockade. Earth needs to know what we're facing." As Min Su prepared to leave, Taiwan studied the aliens more carefully. The ships moved in formation, always facing directly forward, turning their entire bodies instead of just changing direction. "Interesting," he said quietly. "They move like actual rhinos. I wonder if that means anything." Hansol looked up from her station. "Sir, we're getting a signal from the alien ships again." The deep voice of the Craxus filled the bridge once more. "To show our power, we will allow one of your small vessels to pass. Tell your leaders to prepare. In 72 hours, your world belongs to the Craxus." Min Su's escape pod launched minutes later, racing toward Earth with its valuable information. As it disappeared from view, Taiwan turned back to the alien ships. 72 hours, he said. "Let's hope that's enough time." The skies above Earth remained silent, the normal chatter of space traffic and communications replaced by the looming threat of the Craxus ships. Humanity's first encounter with alien life had begun, not with friendship, but with an ultimatum. Dr. Haejin Kim was eating dinner when her phone rang. She was the top scientist who studied alien life forms, even though humans had never met aliens before today. "Dr. Kim, we need you right away," said the voice on the phone. Please come to Seoul Military Headquarters now. A car is already on its way. 30 minutes later, Ha-jin sat in a room full of serious-looking military leaders. Their faces showed fear, but they tried to hide it. General Jun stood at the front of the room. As you have heard, alien ships have surrounded Earth. They call themselves the Craxus. They have given us 3 days to surrender. He played a video on the big screen. It showed the strange ships that now circled Earth. Ha-jin leaned forward, her eyes fixed on the images. We have this footage from Space Station Korea 1, said the general. And this. The screen changed to show a picture of the aliens themselves. They stood on 2 legs but had thick, gray skin that looked like armor. Their faces had horns, and their bodies were heavy and strong. Whispers filled the room. Someone said, "They look like rhinos." "Yes," said Ha-jin, speaking for the first time. "They look very much like Earth's rhinoceros. May I see more?" For the next hour, Ha-jin studied every bit of information they had about the Craxus. She watched how they moved, how their ships turned, and listened to recordings of their voices. "What do you think, Doctor?" asked General Jun when she finally looked up. "I think these aliens evolved from creatures very similar to our rhinos," she said. "Their bodies showed the same design. Their ships even moved the same way." "How does this help us?" asked a woman in a business suit. "Their ships are huge. They have technology we can't match. Half the world leaders want to surrender now." Ha-jin shook her head. If they evolved from rhino-like animals, they might share the same weaknesses. The room grew quiet. Everyone looked at her. "What weaknesses?" asked General Jun. "Rhinos have poor eyesight to the sides. They can only see well what is directly in front of them. Their ears are sensitive to certain sounds, and when they attack, they charge in straight lines. They can't turn quickly once they start charging." Ha-jin stood up and walked to the screen. "Look at their ships. They always face forward. When they change direction, the whole ship turns, just like a rhino." A spark of hope appeared in General Jun's eyes. "You think we can use this?" "I need more information," said Ha-jin. "I need to study how humans hunted large animals throughout history. How did our ancestors deal with charging rhinos and similar creatures? If these aliens think like rhinos, maybe they can be tricked like rhinos." General Jun nodded. "You'll have everything you need. Dr. Kim, you now have top security clearance and a full team at your command." Ha-jin walked to the window and looked up at the night sky. The stars looked the same, but she knew the alien ships were up there, waiting. "Get me access to natural history museums, old hunting records, and cave paintings," she said. "And I need to talk to the best engineers we have." "Engineers?" asked the general. "Why?" "Because if I'm right, we'll need to build special weapons. Not bigger guns, but smarter ones. Weapons that use the Craxus' own nature against them." As people hurried to follow her orders, Ha-jin kept looking at the sky. Somewhere up there, the aliens were preparing for what they thought would be an easy victory. "They think we're weak," she said quietly. "They don't know humans yet." For the first time since the alien ships appeared, a small smile crossed her face. Humans had faced big, strong enemies before. Throughout history, smart humans had defeated stronger opponents by finding their weaknesses. Now they would do it again. Do-hyun Lee wiped sweat from his forehead as he worked. The lunar shipyards were always busy, but now they were like a kicked ant nest. Everyone ran around with fear in their eyes. The clock was ticking. Less than 2 days remained before the aliens' deadline. "This makes no sense," muttered Jinwoo, the older engineer working beside Do-hyun. "They were changing the weapons on Earth's best fighter ships. Why are we putting sound makers on warships? We should be adding bigger guns." Do-hyun kept working without looking up. "These aren't just sound makers. They're special sonic emitters that Dr. Kim's team designed. They make sounds humans can't hear. And how will noise hurt those rhino aliens?" Jinwoo asked. It won't hurt them. It will confuse them. Do-hyun connected another wire. Like how hunters used to confuse animals by making them look the wrong way. The plans they were following came directly from Dr. Hae-jin Kim's team. Do-hyun had never met her, but he trusted the science. The designs were strange. Sonic emitters, special EMP devices that made quick, bright flashes, and new flight pattern programs that seemed backwards. The general has lost his mind, Jin-woo said. These won't stop those giant ships. Maybe not, said Do-hyun. But I'd rather try something new than just give up. All around them, technicians worked on dozens of ships. Some were being painted with strange patterns that looked like eyes. Others had their weapons moved to unusual positions. Do-hyun's phone beeped. It was a message from his sister on Earth. People are getting ready here too, her message said. Some are building bunkers. Others are making weapons. No one wants to surrender. He smiled. Humans were always stubborn. Lee, come here, called Supervisor Kang. Do-hyun hurried over to where Kang stood with a woman in a lab coat. She had tired eyes but looked determined. This is Dr. Min from Dr. Kim's team, Kang said. She has some changes to the designs. Dr. Min showed them new pictures on her tablet. We've learned more about the Kraxus ships. They don't just look like rhinos. They think like them too. They always attack the thing directly in front of them. They can't resist charging at movement. Like a bull chasing a red flag, asked Do-hyun. Exactly, Dr. Min nodded. So we're changing our defense strategy. Some ships will be decoys. They'll draw the Kraxus into charging. The others will attack from the sides where the Kraxus can't see well. The new plans made Do-hyun excited for the first time since the aliens arrived. This might actually work. How soon can you finish the changes? Dr. Min asked. Give us 12 hours, Do-hyun said. We'll have the first squadron ready by then. As Dr. Min left, Jin-woo looked less doubtful. You know, this might not be completely crazy after all. It's still pretty crazy, Do-hyun laughed. But crazy is all we have right now. Back on Earth, in cities around the world, people were also preparing. Some built shelters, others gathered food and water. Military bases were filled with activity. In Seoul, ordinary people formed volunteer groups. They practiced emergency drills and set up communication systems that didn't rely on satellites, which the Kraxus now controlled. No one knew if Dr. Kim's plan would work. The Kraxus ships were so big, their weapons so powerful, but humans weren't going to just lie down and accept defeat. In his small apartment, Do-hyun's father, an old history teacher, dug through his books. He found ancient stories of how clever hunters had defeated much larger animals. He sent these stories to his son on the moon. Remember, he wrote, throughout history, it's not always the strongest who win. It's often the smartest. Do-hyun read this message during his short break. Then he went back to work with new energy. The whole human race was coming together, each person doing what they could. The resistance was forming. Earth was getting ready to fight back. Dr. Hae-jin Kim had not slept in 30 hours. Her office walls were covered with pictures. Some showed the alien Kraxus ships. Others showed ancient cave paintings from all over Earth. The cave paintings showed early humans hunting large animals like rhinos, elephants, and mammoths. Look at this, she said to her team. She pointed to a cave painting from Africa that was 15,000 years old. It showed humans standing in a circle around a rhino. Our ancestors knew not to attack these animals from the front. Hae-jin picked up another image. This one came from a Korean history book. It showed hunters using flags and noise to confuse a charging bull. All these animals share the same weaknesses, she said. Poor side vision. They get confused by certain sounds. And once they start charging, they can't change direction quickly. Young researcher Jae-hoon looked doubtful. But the Kraxus have spaceships and advanced weapons. They're not just animals. No, agreed Hae-jin. But they evolved from animals very similar to our rhinos. Their bodies, their ships, even the way they talk shows this. They think like rhinos. She walked to a large screen showing a Craxus ship. Their ships only have weapons that point forward. They turn their whole ship to aim, just like a rhino has to turn its whole body to see something. Hajin pressed a button, and the screen showed more pictures of the Craxus ships. And look how they always fly in straight lines. When they need to turn, they slow down first, just like a running rhino would. The team was silent as they thought about this. Then Jaehoon smiled slowly. So if we stay out of their forward line of sight? Exactly, said Hajin. We attack from the sides. We confuse them with sounds and lights that overload their senses, and we trick them into charging where we want them to go. Hajin picked up her phone and called General Jun. I have a complete battle plan, she said. We can beat them. 1 hour later, Hajin stood in front of Earth's leaders. Some were in the room, others joined by video call from countries around the world. She showed them her plan. This is our best chance, she finished. We can't match their technology, but we can use their biology against them. The room was quiet for a moment. Then a voice spoke up. This is madness. We should negotiate with the Craxus. Negotiate what? Asked another leader. They want everything. They'll take our planet and kill us all. Arguments broke out. Some wanted to surrender. Others wanted to fight with normal weapons. Many thought Hajin's plan was too strange to work. General Jun stood up. I support Dr. Kim's plan. Korea will commit its forces to this strategy. Japan will join you, said the Japanese Prime Minister. One by one, more countries agreed. Not all, but enough. They would try Hajin's plan. As the meeting ended, General Jun walked over to Hajin. The modified ships are almost ready. Commander Park on Space Station Korea 1 will lead the first attack. Will it be enough? Hajin asked quietly. The general looked grim. It has to be. We have less than 12 hours before their deadline. Hajin looked out the window at the night sky. Somewhere up there, the Craxus were waiting. They thought they knew what humans would do, either surrender or try to fight with direct attacks. They didn't expect humans to understand them so well. Tell Commander Park to be ready, she said, and tell Do Hyun-lee at the lunar shipyard to launch as soon as the ships are ready. It's time to show the Craxus what humans can do. Outside, the sky was quiet. No planes flew. No satellites worked properly. The Craxus had silenced the skies. But not for much longer. The deadline had come. 3 days after their arrival, the Craxus ships began to move. 5 smaller ships broke away from the main fleet and headed down toward Earth. They moved in a tight V formation, like birds flying south for winter. Commander Ta-won Park watched from Space Station Korea 1. They're heading for the Korean peninsula, he said, just as we hoped. The Craxus had chosen Korea for their first landing. They thought they would find humans ready to surrender. Instead, they would find a trap. All ships ready, Ta-won ordered. Remember the plan. Don't attack from the front. Stay in their blind spots. 20 human ships waited, hidden behind the moon. They were much smaller than the Craxus ships, but they had been changed according to Dr. Kim's plan. Some had the new sonic weapons, others had bright light flashers. All had new flight computers programmed with special movement patterns. The Craxus are entering the atmosphere, reported Officer Sunho. They'll be over Seoul in 5 minutes. Taiwan took a deep breath. Launch all ships. Begin Operation Rhino Trap. The human ships shot out from behind the moon. They moved in a pattern that looked messy and unplanned. But it was very carefully designed to trigger the Craxus' instincts. As the human ships approached, the Craxus ships turned to face them. Just as Dr. Kim had predicted, the aliens couldn't ignore a threat right in front of them. They're changing course, said Sunho. They're leaving the path to Seoul. They're coming after us. Perfect, said Tadawon. Now for step 2. The human ships split into 3 groups. 2 groups moved to the sides, while 1 small group stayed right in front of the Craxus ships. The aliens did exactly what Dr. Kim had predicted. They focused on the ships directly ahead and started to charge forward, picking up speed. "Decoy ships, prepare to scatter," ordered Ta-1. "Side groups, get ready." The Krax's ships moved faster and faster. They pointed all their weapons forward, ready to destroy the small human ships in their path. "Now," shouted Ta-1. The decoy ships suddenly split apart, moving quickly to the left and right. This left the Krax's ships charging forward with no target. At the same moment, the human ships on the sides turned on their sonic weapons. The sound was at a frequency humans couldn't hear, but to the Kraxis it was painful and confusing. The effect was immediate. The Kraxis ships wobbled in the air. Some tried to turn, but they were moving too fast. Two of the ships crashed into each other. "Side groups, attack now," ordered Ta-1. The human ships fired at the Kraxis ships from the sides and back. The blind spots Dr. Kim had identified. Their weapons weren't as powerful as the aliens, but they didn't need to be. They aimed for the spots where the armor plates joined together. One Kraxis ship exploded in a ball of fire, then another. The remaining three tried to regroup, but they were confused by the sonic weapons and the strange movement patterns of the human ships. "They're retreating," shouted Sunho. "They're going back up." Tai-1 could hardly believe it. The plan had worked even better than they had hoped. The remaining Kraxis ships were climbing back up, away from Earth, leaving two of their ships destroyed. All across Earth, people watched the battle on their screens. Cheers rose from every city and town. For the first time since the aliens arrived, people felt hope. On Space Station Korea 1, Ta-1 allowed himself a small smile. "Well done, everyone. But this was just the first test. The main Kraxis fleet is still up there. And now they know we can fight." He looked at the screen showing the three damaged Kraxis ships limping back to their fleet. "They'll be back," he said. "And next time, they'll bring everything they have." But Earth would be ready. For the first time in history, humans had fought an alien species, and they had won. The main Kraxis fleet was angry. Two of their ships had been destroyed by the small human vessels. This was not supposed to happen. Humans were supposed to be weak and afraid. "All ships prepare for full attack," ordered Supreme Horn Kallax, the leader of the Kraxis fleet. His voice rumbled through the command ship. "We will crush these humans and take their planet." On Earth, Commander Tai-1 Park watched the Kraxis fleet moving. All 50 of their huge ships were coming toward Earth. This would not be like the first battle. This time, the Kraxis were ready for war. "All Earth defense stations, prepare for battle," Tai-1 said into his comm unit. "This is not a drill. The full Kraxis fleet is moving." In the command center in Seoul, Dr. Hae-jin Kim watched the alien ships on the big screen. "They're angry now," she said. "They'll be more aggressive, but that might make them easier to trick." General Jun nodded. "Let's hope so, because we're outnumbered 10-1. Earth's defense fleet was small compared to the Kraxis ships, but every human ship now had the special weapons and computers that Dr. Kim had designed. And they had a plan. Remember, Ta-1 told his pilots, "Stay out of their direct path. Use their blind spots. Make them charge where we want them to go." The human ships spread out around Earth. Some hid behind satellites. Others stayed close to the space stations. All waited quietly. The Kraxis fleet came closer. They moved in straight lines, their weapons pointing forward. They expected the humans to either run away or attack head-on. "They're in position," Ta-1 said. "Begin Operation Stampede." All at once, the human ships started to move. They flew in patterns that looked random but were carefully planned. Some ships darted in front of the Kraxis, then quickly moved away. Others used bright lights to flash in the aliens' eyes. The Kraxis reacted just as Dr. Kim had predicted. They couldn't ignore the movement in front of them. Ship after ship turned to chase the small human vessels that zipped around them. "They're breaking formation," reported Officer Sunho. "They're splitting up to chase our ships." On screens all over Earth, people watched as the mighty Kraxus fleet fell apart. The huge alien ships charged after the smaller human vessels, each one focused only on what was directly in front of it. "Now," ordered Tadwan. All the human ships turned on their sonic weapons at once. The sound waves hit the Kraxus ships from all sides. The aliens couldn't think clearly. Some of their ships started to spin. Others fired their weapons wildly, hitting nothing. "Side attack groups, move in," said Tadwan. Human ships that had been hiding now swooped in from the sides. They fired at the weak spots between the armor plates of the Kraxus ships. One by one, alien ships started to explode or drift away damage. "It's working," shouted someone in the command center. Dr. Kim watched carefully. "Yes, but look, they're starting to adapt. Some ships are trying to protect their sides now." She was right. A group of Kraxus ships had formed a circle, facing outward. They were trying to cover each other's blind spots. "They're learning," said General Jun. "This won't work forever." Taiwan saw it too. "All ships, fall back to defensive positions. We've done enough damage for now." The human ships pulled back, moving to safe distances. But they had won again. 15 Kraxus ships were destroyed or badly damaged. The rest were confused and separated from each other. People all over Earth cheered as they watched. Humans had stood up to the alien threat and won again. But in the command center, Dr. Kim looked worried. "They'll try something new next," she said. "We need to be ready." She was right. On the main Kraxus ship, Supreme Horn Kallax was already planning his next move. The humans had tricked them twice. It would not happen again. The battle for Earth was only beginning. Jai-Ho Kang had not seen sunlight in 4 days. He and his team of engineers had been working non-stop on the far side of the moon, hidden from the Kraxus sensors. They were building something that might save Earth. "Is it ready yet?" asked the base commander. Jai-Ho checked the final connections on the huge machine. It looked like a giant satellite dish, but it was much more than that. It was the largest sonic array ever built. "Almost," said Jai-Ho. "We're connecting the last power cells now." Dr. He-Jin Kim's voice came through the radio. "The Kraxus fleet is regrouping. They're preparing for another attack. We need the array working as soon as possible." Jai-Ho wiped sweat from his face. "We're going as fast as we can." The sonic array was Dr. Kim's biggest idea. If the small sonic weapons on the ships could confuse the Kraxus, then a giant sonic weapon might disable their entire fleet at once. In space, Commander Taiwan Park watched the Kraxus ships with growing worry. They were forming a new pattern. This time, they moved in tight groups of 5, with each ship covering the other's blind spots. The humans' old tricks would not work anymore. "They're adapting," he told General Jun. "The next attack will be much harder to stop." On the main Kraxus ship, Supreme Horn Kallax was furious. The humans had been lucky, nothing more. This time, his fleet would crush them completely. "All ships will attack at once," he ordered. "No more small groups. We will overwhelm them with our full power." The Kraxus ships moved closer to Earth, their weapons charged and ready. There were still 35 of them, each one many times larger than any human ship. Back on the moon, Jai-Ho's team made the final connections to the sonic array. "It's ready," he reported. "But we've never tested it. We don't know if it will work." "We have no choice," said Dr. Kim. "The Kraxus are almost in position for their attack." General Jun gave the order. "Activate the array." Now, Jai-Ho took a deep breath and pressed the activation button. The huge array hummed as it powered up. It was aimed at the center of the Kraxus fleet. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The Kraxus ships kept moving toward Earth. "It's not working," said Jai-Ho with despair. Then, slowly, the Kraxus ships started to wobble. First one, then another, then all of them. The tight formation broke apart as ships drifted in different directions. "What's happening?" asked General Jun. Dr. Kim smiled. "The sonic waves are affecting their inner ears. or whatever they have that helps them keep balance. They can't control their ships properly. On screens across Earth, people watched in amazement as the mighty Kraxus fleet fell into chaos. Ships bumped into each other. Some spun in circles. Others fired their weapons randomly into space. Commander Ta-1 couldn't believe what he was seeing. All ships, attack now. Target their engines and weapons while they're confused. The human fleet moved in. This time, they didn't need to use tricks or hide in blind spots. The Kraxus ships couldn't fight back. One by one, they were disabled or destroyed. Supreme Horn Kallax roared in rage and confusion. What was this invisible weapon the humans were using? How could his mighty fleet be defeated so easily? Retreat, he finally ordered. All ships that can still move, retreat to safe distance. The surviving Kraxus ships, less than half of their original number, turned and fled from Earth. Their straight, orderly movement was gone. Now they limped away like wounded animals. On the moon, Jai-Ho collapsed into a chair, exhausted but smiling. The sonic array had worked even better than they had hoped. For the first time since the Kraxus arrived, Earth had truly won a battle. The humans had not just survived. They had driven the aliens away. The tide of the war had turned. Supreme Horn Kallax stood on the bridge of his damaged command ship. Half of his mighty fleet was gone. The humans had tricked them again and again. This was supposed to be an easy victory. Now it was turning into a disaster. Supreme Horn, said his second-in-command, "The fleet awaits your orders." Kallax looked at the screen showing Earth below. His anger burned hot. "If we cannot have this planet," he growled, "then no one will." He turned to face his officers. "We have 15 ships that can still fly. Each ship will target a major human city. We will crash into them at full speed." The bridge went quiet. This was a suicide mission, but no one dared question the Supreme Horn. "We will show these humans the true power of the Kraxus," Kallax said. "Prepare all ships for the final attack." On Space Station Korea 1, Commander Tai-1 Park received the warning from their sensors. "The Kraxus ships are moving again," he reported to Earth Command. "They're heading straight for our major cities." Dr. Hae-Jin Kim studied the movement patterns. "They're not slowing down," she said with alarm. "I think they're planning to crash their ships into our cities." General Jun's face went pale. "How many ships?" 15, said Ta-1. "Heading for cities all over the world." "Can the sonic array stop them?" asked the general. Dr. Kim shook her head. "No. They've damaged it with their last attack. It needs time to repair." "Then we have to intercept them," said General Jun. "All Earth Defense Forces, prepare to engage. Stop those ships at any cost." Earth's defense fleet rushed to intercept the Kraxus ships, but they were outnumbered. Some alien ships were stopped, exploding in the upper atmosphere. Others broke through. In Seoul, Do Hyun-Lee led a ground team carrying portable sonic disruptors, smaller versions of the weapons used in space. They set up in the city center, directly in the path of an incoming Kraxus ship. "Will this even work?" asked a young soldier next to him. Do-hyun checked the power levels on his device. "I don't know, but we have to try." They could see the Kraxus ship now, a dark shape getting bigger in the sky. It was coming straight for them, moving fast. "Everyone ready?" Do-hyun called. "Activate on my mark." The Kraxus ship grew larger. People in the streets ran for shelter. The ship was so close they could see the plates on its hull. "Now," shouted Do-hyun. All 10 sonic disruptors turned on at once. The air seemed to vibrate around them. They couldn't hear anything, but they could feel the power of the sound waves. The effect on the Kraxus ship was immediate. It began to wobble in the air. Its straight path became crooked. The ship tried to correct its course, but it couldn't. "It's working," someone shouted. The Kraxus ship veered sharply to the left. Instead of hitting the city center, it crashed into the Han River. Water exploded into the air as the massive ship hit. The impact shook the ground. but the city was saved. Similar scenes played out in cities around the world. Ground teams with sonic disruptors forced the Craxus ships to crash in empty areas or bodies of water. Not all cities were so lucky. 3 ships hit their targets, causing terrible damage. But 12 were diverted. On his command ship, Supreme Horn Kallax received the reports with disbelief. Even his suicide attack had failed. The humans had found a way to counter every move the Craxus made. Supreme Horn, said his second-in-command, "We have only 3 ships left. What are your orders?" Kallax stared at the image of Earth on his screen. For the first time in his life, he felt something new, respect for an enemy. "Send the signal," he said quietly. "We are leaving this system." The 3 remaining Craxus ships turned away from Earth. They had come expecting an easy victory. They were leaving in defeat. Humanity had won. 3 days after the Craxus ships left, Earth was still celebrating. People filled the streets of every city. They hugged strangers and sang songs. Humanity had faced its first alien threat and won. In the command center in Seoul, Dr. Hae-jin Kim looked at the screens that showed space around Earth. The skies were empty now. No alien ships blocked the way. "Try the Mars colony again," she told the communications officer. For days, they had tried to contact the human colonies on Mars and the Moon. The Craxus blockade had cut off all communications. No one knew if the colonies were safe. The officer sent the signal. For a long moment, there was no response. Then a voice crackled through the speakers. "Earth Command, this is Mars Colony 1. We hear you. What happened? Are you okay?" Cheers broke out in the command center. The silence was finally broken. Earth could talk to its colonies again. "We're fine," replied General Jun. "We have quite a story to tell you." Over the next few hours, communications returned to normal. Earth learned that the colonies had been watching the battle but couldn't help. The Craxus had ignored them, focusing only on Earth itself. News of Earth's victory spread quickly to the colonies and to the few human ships that had been trapped in deep space. Everyone wanted to know how Earth had defeated such powerful aliens. At a special meeting of world leaders, Dr. Hae-jin Kim explained what they had learned. The Craxus were technologically advanced, but they couldn't overcome their basic nature, she said. They evolved from creatures like our rhinoceroses. They kept the same strengths and the same weaknesses. She showed images of the Craxus ships and compared them to Earth animals. Throughout history, humans have survived by understanding the animals around them. This time, we did the same with an alien species. "Could they come back?" asked one of the leaders. "They might," said General Jun. "But now we know how to fight them, and we'll be better prepared next time." Commander Taiwan Park, now promoted to Admiral, stood up. "We're already designing new ships and weapons based on what we learned. If the Craxus return, or if we meet other alien species, we'll be ready." Do Hyun-lee was there too. After saving Seoul with his ground team, he had been asked to lead a new defense program. "We need to share what we learned with all our colonies," he said, "and we need to explore space more, not less. The more we know about what's out there, the safer we'll be." The leaders agreed. Earth would not hide from the galaxy. Instead, it would reach out farther with new confidence. In the weeks that followed, Dr. Kim published her findings about the Craxus. Her report was sent to every human settlement. It ended with these words: "The Craxus thought humans were weak because our technology wasn't as advanced as theirs. They didn't understand that technology isn't our only strength. Our greatest power is our ability to observe, learn, and adapt. Throughout our history, humans have overcome stronger opponents by using our minds. Now we have done the same among the stars." On the last Craxus ship heading home, Supreme Horn Kallax made his own report. He warned other Craxus ships to avoid the Sol system. "The creatures there look small and weak," he wrote, "but they are dangerous. They see right through you and know exactly where to strike." 1 year later, a new ship took off from Earth. It carried scientists and explorers, ready to learn more about the galaxy. On its side was the new symbol of Earth's Space Force, a simple image of a rhinoceros. As the ship left orbit, its captain sent a message to all human settlements across the solar system. The skies are silent no more. Humanity is coming.